This is how you're going to be able to get 11 by 17 music posters for pretty cheap. First up, you're going to need to use the Adobe Creative Cloud. I'll link in the description, but there's not a specific template, so you're just going to have to follow what I do. Use the Myriad Arabic Bold and use the same font size I use, which I think is 381. Not 100% sure. Here I'm doing the strokes, is this it? And you're just gonna have to change all these. Just get like a similar one to me, so your poster actually looks good, and just like format it similar to mine, so like it looks pretty similar. You're going to have to, of course, have the Wikipedia page up just for the track list, but you're also going to need to have a Google Docs up just because the formatting on the Adobe thing, it doesn't have them formatted to all be capitals. So what you're going to have to do is take all the track lists, copy them basically one after another, and then you're going to have to copy them all into Google Docs so then you can format them so it looks good. And then after this, I just copied the release date of the album and then the record company who made it and the amount of time the album took, just so those can all be there because they're also on the poster. Once you have them all into the Google Docs, then you're going to go to the formatting thing on Google Docs, go to text, and then go to capitalization and then get them all into uppercase. That just looks a lot better on the poster, so I like to do it. You don't have to do that yourself, but I just think it looks a lot better. And then you're going to have it here and then just use the Myriad Arabic bold, but you don't really have to have the same the size. The size can basically be any size, but just format it so it looks good on the poster and then so there's a little bit of space at the bottom for the release date, the time of the album, and the record company. And basically, after that, you're almost all done. You just have to, format everything to make sure it looks good. I also threw in a little line in between the two is this it's just to show like which one is the album name and which one are like the songs on the album. You don't have to do that, but I think especially with where like the title track is the first track of the album, like that you definitely have to put a line in between just to separate them because it looks so much better when they're separated. And I think it is a thing you need to have on your posters anyway. But either way, this like the Adobe Creative thing, it just sucks. I think it's definitely a lot worse than Canva. As you can see here, there's a lot of problems with like how to do everything. Either way, after you're done with all of that, you're just gonna take the release date and like the record company, and you're gonna put them at the bottom. Just copy the same like little font size I use here, just because I think it looks the best at like 116. It's super hard to move everything here, which is kind of a pain. So you kind of have to. It takes a long time to like line everything up here with like the date and the time and all that. But I think if you do get it lined up, it looks really good. So you definitely specifically try to get that. Make sure they're all the same font size as well. Like I said, I think 116.8 in this, and I think it looks really good. I think it just kind of has to be like a progression of smaller font sizes where the title of the album and the band is the biggest and then the song titles next and then these little things at the bottom are the smallest, but they need to be big enough to be kind of seen on your poster. Then I use the Genius. I searched up Genius, is this it, to get the album cover. I use this one. I tried to use the other one, but I feel like it doesn't look as good. And then I upload it. You can kind of replace them. So if you are doing like multiple after each other, you can replace them. So like you can replace the photo, um, and it'll like perfectly fit the same size every time. And then I have this little square around the background, which I just use the color like drop tool, and I just pick a color out of there, which I think it looks pretty good. Like I don't really like the yellow here, but I do eventually go with this blue, and I think it looks pretty solid. And then I also replace the little line between the two is this it's because I change it to red. And I think overall this poster turns out pretty well. I mean, it's going to be a lot harder to make because I don't have a template, which I'm very sorry for. I wish I could have had made a template. But I think it all turns out well in the end because if you just follow the steps in this tutorial, it should turn out pretty well and it should look good like it does in the video. Another thing you can do is just look for like Kanye West poster, basically any artist poster, and then just go large, and then find one that you like or would want on your wall, and then click on it, download it, or in this case, like I like this one, but I thought this Donda one was pretty cool. And you can click on it. If it doesn't download, like if it downloads as a web page, just go and try and find like a way to either screenshot it or whatever. I do feel kind of bad, like, not supporting the artist, but this guy's selling it for $50. And I just, you can make these for $2 at FedEx and print them out on good quality paper. Either way, though, I just did a little screenshot on this, and it came out pretty well, even though it is a little small. It's like a 400 pixel thing. Then you're going to go into your Adobe Express, have your little 11 by 17 thing, and you can just drag the screenshot you just made into your thing and then just fit it to the size. It might look a little like small because, I mean, you are taking a really small image, like a really small screenshot, and extending it into a really like big image, like which is 11 by 17. But I mean, it kind of all works out in the end. I think this does turn out well, even if it might not come out in the best quality. It does look good enough here. I mean, it's not super pixelated, so you can always do that. I would just always say look for ones that are large images so they don't like ever come out pixelated. But I mean, this one worked in the end. Then you can download it and just print it like that. Last but not least, you're going to have to just download the poster and then take it to your FedEx thing. First off, activate the 2.5% cash back from Rakuten. Definitely click the link in my description for that. These posters are a lot more expensive than the other ones, so you're definitely going to want to get that cash back. You also kind of support me if you spend more than $30. You get $30, I get $30, helps the channel out. Either way, upload the file, pretty easy. I have the link to it. Just go to the FedEx office thing, then take your file, upload it. It's going to take a little bit to upload, but once you're there, it's going to start in the 8.5 by 11 thing, and then what you're going to want to do from there is you're going to go from 8.5 by 11 to 11 by 17 because that's the size that we made in the Adobe thing. And then from there, just go into laser 80 pounds because you're probably going to want the thickest one. I think it is a little bit more pricey, but with these, I think going quality over quantity is a little bit better, and especially if you get money back from Rakuten where you're getting $30. If you spend more than $30, that definitely is really important to me. So definitely do that, and then you're done there. Just add to cart. These cost $2.50 per, and then just pick it up at the store if you have one near you. If not, just go over the spending amount where they can ship it to you for free. I think it's about $50, and then if you're spending $50, you're going to be getting $30 back from Rakuten if you use the link in the description.